This is AT&T Park, home of the San Francisco Giants, who build championship-quality teams, not with baseball cards and fantasy leagues, Their general manager, Bobby Evans, is the real deal, and the guy that makes the real deals. Come on, just sign this guy, trade for him. What would we be surprised about in the process that complicates it or that accommodates it?
Yeah, there's so many different elements that factor into decisions. What our staff and player development people understand about the person as well as the performance, but also their work ethic and the makeup of the player, dependence upon the analytics of the game now. There's economic factors. It is a complex formula, but again, it's an organic process. It can't happen overnight. Some things just take time.
Like his ascent within the organization. Hired in 1994 as an administrative assistant, Bobby's now emerged as both senior vice president and GM of the Giants, three-time World Series champions over the past 7 seasons. On the field, does it get harder or easier sustaining that success?
It is hard. It is getting harder. I don't think it's getting easier. There's obstacles from a financial perspective. There's obstacles in terms of the pool of talent, the competition. You know, teams are getting better and stronger, and they're sustaining success. Injuries, players are getting older. The turnover is a hard part of it.
For you in the role that you are, winning aside, that's always the given, but there's only room for one. What do you value the most in measuring success?
It's a great question. There's a lot of ways to measure success, but for us, on the field, it's having sustained success and having a chance to compete year in and year out. But I think that there's other ways, and just in terms of the culture of the organization and the hard work of our scouts, from whether it be free agent signings, trades, or our players coming up through the system. A lot of our success is measured in what kind of impact we make in the community of San Francisco and the Bay Area, and you see success measured in the hearts of our players in terms of how they reach out.
The year-round roster changes are time-consuming. Bobby's phone is never off, often requiring 3 full recharges per day. How did you guys do it without a cell phone?
Yeah, when I first started, I had to find the payphone in the restaurant first. That was first and foremost, and if they didn't have a payphone, I had to find a new restaurant.
As a Major League GM, Bobby is among a small fraternity of only 30 pro baseball executives. While his field of view is focused, his perspective stays simple. What's cool about this sight line? Nobody else gets?
Now, the best part of this seat is that the cookies and coffee are in that room.
How do you walk, Bobby, that tightrope of overseeing the organization, bringing guys in as a commodity to fill a need, while caring for their well-being?
Well, I think it just goes hand in hand. I mean, we care about the whole person, and so this organization is its people, and it is its players. And I think as general managers, we don't want to lead our players astray, to make decisions that affect their family and their future and their career based on misinformation. It all goes together. Unless you value them first as a person, you'll never value them appropriately as a player.
Bobby's league-wide reputation for integrity and consistency spans and links his public and private life.
One of the ways I keep up with some of my closer friends is they come out to the ballpark. It blends sort of, 2 worlds together, and it's a great industry for families. It's hard because you spend time apart as you work here, but how many places can you work where your family is so welcome to come out and be a part of it? We should strive to be the same person, whether in a business meeting at the office or we're in a Bible study.
How is excellence tied to biblical living?
I mean, I think that's what Christ calls us to, our best in Christ. And our best in Christ is really our best beyond ourselves, when our dependence is on Him and not on ourselves, and our trust is in Him, and we're not performing for Him. We're trusting Him and allowing Him to do the work that He will do in His time in us and through us. And
how does that practically assist you?
There's a dependence on Him, and that's just part of life lived day to day. I look back on times in my life where I've experienced His presence, at a time where I felt like I needed direction, when I needed comfort and had lost my mom, and then not long later my dad, and wisdom in the midst of His guidance. But it's ultimately a relationship that Christ gives us with Him, that we're privileged.
The engineer and lead negotiator for one of baseball's storied franchises remains true to his childhood faith in his own pursuit of excellence.
Part of relationships require time, with him and having the discipline to spend time hearing his voice or seeking him through his word as a man, a husband, and a father. There's no way to do it alone.